welcome back to the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. I'm joined by my Twitch audience as always. Playing as Eden, as always, at least until December when Repentance is out, which we all forgot the name of last time, chat. This episode is also going to be dedicated to Lord Psychon, who will probably appear later in the stream and not hear me say this, but thank you for supporting Patreon of Wear a Cat. Oh, and we have the spacebar item that just kills you. Excellent. What's my damage? Damage is good, tear rate is bad. Tempted to just press spacebar to end it all. I look like a 16-year-old girl's Twitter avatar. Oh, the seed, right. You know what? I've been forgetting to do the seed for like 4 months now. Hello, Vice President. Q33N48VK. You know, maybe I have been doing the seed, but I feel like I've been forgetting for a long ass time. But I wouldn't get attached to this run though. I might forget and just press spacebar. Might just die because we've got 2 Spirit Hearts. Might die because of our bad DPS. And it's a seller. Is that a double seller? No. So we'll end up talking about other things, but just because, again, to provide context for YouTube, even though they really should be here watching live, tut, etc. The thing we're going to talk about most today is Games Workshop contrast paints, which finally arrived on Monday for me. And I've been playing with them. And it's a new type of paint they're doing for people who I am the perfect target audience for, because they're for people who can't be asked to learn to paint models properly, essentially. And I am both a bad painter and also too lazy to learn, so I'll be referencing them a lot. However, I have put many examples so far on Twitter, so they'll still be there by the time you hear this on YouTube in like 3 or 4 days. This is just hell. I'm like, the urge to press spacebar is growing by the second, because they're not going to stop, and I'd like to go out on my own terms. But I also kind of want to see what the item room is. That's the problem I'm having, but I don't think I can fire fast enough to... Oh well, I got one of them. Okay, now we might be able to do it. Because the slow tear rate is what makes these bloody hard to kill. That and not wanting to take damage as you do so. Oh, that kinda... How does charming him help in any way, shape or form? I want to see the item room first. Never mind, this could be it right here, because I'm too slow. I'm too slow. If I shoot, I'm dead. What a terrible start. Oh, now we just look like me. Well, me doing a Boris Johnson impersonation. 3.19 damage. That's much better. We got bog off bombs. Yeah, that's more like it. Still not great, but at least we have red HP. TZ79JWCV is the seed. Hello, Repeatful, and anyone else I missed coming in. You haven't missed much because we only just started. But yeah, for context, bunch of examples on Twitter, so even if you're not 100% sure what I was talking about. Top level plays, top level plays. Yoink. There's plenty of examples showing like how I usually paint a model compared to a similar model or identical model done with the new paints, side by side comparison. We don't need to talk about that first. It was just I wanted to make sure there was context provided, because otherwise people on YouTube might be lost after the fact. Or anyone watching live might also be lost if they haven't seen the myriad of pictures I've been posting on Twitter for the last day and a half. Although first I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about the one thing I watched on Netflix on my day off. I watched a Netflix original game show. Don't ask me why. And I think it's just called Awake. But I think it had a subtitle, like Awake the $1 Million something or other. And it's a little bit... well, it's not a con in the legal sense, but it's one of those ones where they've designed it in such a way that, yeah, they can say, wow, the grand prize for this program, it's $1 million. But there's no way in hell anyone is ever going to get the million. It's not like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where if you're intelligent, you'll win $1 million. It's just the game show is designed in such a fashion that no one is ever going to have the balls to go for the $1 million. Oh god, that was... I looked away for a second and almost got ran into. Let's fight the boss actually while we're here. So the way this game show works is I think 7 people get forced to stay up for 24 hours without sleep. So that they are sleep deprived and not thinking straight, and then they take part in the game show. But while they're staying awake for 24 hours, they have a task. They have to count quarters. They can count them in whatever fashion they like, but they have to do it in their head. I think the average amount people got was like, I don't know, like $17,000 worth of quarters. So they spend 24 hours just counting quarters, and then kind of like the prize pool to start with is how much they counted up to. But obviously, as you get more and more tired, you start kind of going a little bit delirious. It becomes harder and harder to focus, as anyone who's ever been sleep deprived will be able to tell you. And immediately 2 people get kicked off every time, and it's the people, well, it's the person who counted the least money that goes first. So if you try and do a system where you're just doing it super slow so you're sure you're right, you're out of there right at the start. You're too intelligent for that program, you're gone. Thank you for the raid, piece of cake. Then they get rid of the person who guesstimated the worst. Because once they're done and the game show starts, they secretly ask everybody, so how much did you count to? The person who is off the most also gets instantly kicked off. So it's 2 down straight away. Then they just kind of do a series of rounds where it's easy stuff if you were awake, but if you'd been sleep deprived for 24 hours, it becomes very difficult. Like anything involving hand-eye coordination, balance, memory, you know, all that crap. Oh, and thank you as well, Please Cake, for a 26-month streak with the tier 1 sub. Hello, hello. Iguski was asking what you were playing prior to me going live. So anyway, at the end of each round, they are given a choice. They get offered some walk away money. I think it starts at like $2.5 then it's $5 grand, $7 grand, $10 grand. And that gets offered to everyone. So if anyone thinks they did the worst, they can get out with some money before they get kicked out with nothing. And it carries on like that until there's 2 people left. And then when it comes down to 2 people left, the person who is closest to how much they actually banked when they were counting quarters gets to stay on for the final round. And that's fine. More difficult than you would think because they're all sleep deprived. Also leads to some very confusing moments because like you can tell they're not quite right because of the sleep deprivation. Like one person became convinced that someone in the audience was their stunt double, and the host is like looking at the person and they're white, and then he's looking at the person in the audience and saying, "You realise that guy's black, right?" And he just didn't seem to understand and kept on mentioning his stunt double. It was very strange. So anyway, the final 2, whoever gets closest to the amount they actually banked, they win, they go through to the final. And then this is where it gets a little shady because there's no way anyone is going to ever win the million, and this is the part I take grievance with. First of all, they're offered the money that you counted personally, take it and run. So as I say, that's like 17 grand-ish. They roughly seem to count the same amount, more or less. So they can keep that, or if they're either within, well, if they're within 500 of how much they actually banked, so if they're 500 over or 500 under, they then get to keep the money that everybody counted. If they're 501 over or 501 under, they lose everything. And if they get it right, as in like they counted correctly, they were within 500 and they say go for it, the total everybody counted up to usually works out at like just under 200 grand. And that's the real prize. They don't expect anyone to ever do any better than that. Because what happens after that is that they have 190 something thousand in their pocket, and then they're given an option. They say you can take all that money and you can keep it, or you can go for $1 million. And to get the $1 million, what you have to do is you have to have counted in your sleep deprived state to within $25 either way. Ooh, that is very good. Of your amount. So you have to be within $25 over or within $25 under. No more, no less. And you don't really have to watch too many episodes of the series to know that a person who is sleep deprived will never, ever... Well, actually, no, there was one person who would have got the million, but they didn't make it anywhere close to the final round, so... Other than that one anomaly, no one in their sleep deprived states was coming within $25 of how much they'd actually counted. And they must have done research. They must have done. They must have researched the effects of sleep deprivation, the likelihood of anyone accurately keeping track of how much they're counting if they're not allowed to use a calculator or a pen and paper or anything like that. So they know no one in their right mind is going to go for it. Now, a couple of people do, and surprise, surprise, in the entirety of Season 1, not a single person wins $1 million. In fact, they had the audacity to call the last episode of the season, "Will Someone Win $1 million?" Spoiling it for you now, no they don't. And only 2 people go away with the collected pot of all the contestants. Everyone else either gets greedy or does the smart thing and walk away with the money, because you don't need $1 million. But it's a con. And I don't like that. Hell, even if I'm fully awake, if I didn't have a calculator or a pen and paper, I wouldn't be able to keep track of counting quarters. Not if also you have to go quick, because you have to have the most, or you don't have to have the most, but you have to not have the least counted, otherwise you lose automatically before you even get the chance to win anything. It's a card game, they're always rigged. Somewhat fair. Should have used Judgment first to get a Devil Beggar. That was silly. Judgment. Wasn't a Devil Beggar anyway. HP, please. Now, I do kind of recommend watching it, because I actually thought it was quite entertaining just watching sleep-deprived people try and do basic motor skills. And it reminded me on ITV years and years ago, which is Channel 3 in the UK for anyone who isn't aware. There was a program that was almost the exact same concept, hosted by some soap opera guy, but it was much more boring. They just kind of kept people sleep deprived without doing anything, then made them ask trivia for money. And I remember the most dramatic thing that ever happened was when they rung the alarm to wake someone up who was sleep deprived, he punched the wall. So we're like, okay, we're sending him away because he punched a wall. It's like, really? That's the worst thing that happened? I did that on purpose. A trailer for the Monster movie leaked? I have not seen this. Remind me in Discord afterwards. Or actually, maybe... No, I can't watch it during the break because you still hear it. Well, if I muted my mic, I could watch it on my phone, I suppose. Either way, I'll definitely watch it, if after the stream, whatever. I am curious. It's 20 seconds? Okay, that's less interesting. There was a new Iceborne trailer today that was like 3 minutes. Not that I watched it, because... Well, I meant to watch the Japanese version so I wouldn't have to listen to the handler talk, but I didn't bother. I also know that the PS4 version is getting a couple of beta tests, which are not beta tests, they're just demos that want to build hype. Which I will not be playing. Unless Capcom pays me to. Then I would. If you think that's selling out, you're damn right it is. They owe me. Capcom's PR hates me for no reason. But anyway, let's talk about contrast paints. Some other people have been trying them. My general thoughts, again, keep in mind I'm basically the target audience because 1, I can't paint, and 2, I'm a lazy painter and I've never thinned my paints ever. Because it's tedious. And I don't find any joy in it. I do find joy in painting, just not in repeating myself. So contrast paints were meant to be the answer to me. There were, you only need to do 1 coat. It'll look presentable. It won't look as good as something that people take their time and care with, but it'll look good. I've tried it, and I would say that the finished product, it might be a bit hard to tell in some of the pictures I've posted, because again, my delivery didn't arrive until quite late yesterday, so a lot of the pictures from Monday are a little like poor lighting. I would say they come out basically... They look a little different to my usual way I paint, but quality-wise they look about the same. You just pretend like you know how to paint? Me too. So I would say it probably achieves the same effect, the same tabletop quality I usually aim for. Is it quicker? I would say yes, once you're used to it. I think for models where you're also using normal paints to do stuff, like for the Space Marines, I was still using normal paint for like the gold parts and stuff. They took longer. I'm doing a Carnifex in the background right now, don't take that out of context. Like one coat on all the red parts, and then tomorrow, because it'll be too dark after the stream and too late, one coat to do the bone parts, and then it's basically done. That's going to be a Carnifex done, not including drying time, in like half an hour tops. And that is very quick to a standard that would normally take me 2 hours, probably, although I never really time myself when I'm painting. That's a guesstimate. Well, actually, you kind of know, because I painted a Plague Marine on stream and I was like, oh, I've been going for 20 minutes, and it was like an hour. Yes, doing a Carnifex, you brave man. I think it varies as well, just that some of the contrast paints are better than others. Okay, that's good. Like, I think the Ultramarines Blue, it doesn't apply super well, whereas I think the Blood Angels Red applies exceptionally well. But I think also I was making a mistake, like, I base coated those 3 Marines, first of all. I'm kind of enjoying... wait, what? So I'm going to just get those other barrels as well. I think what the mistake I was making was at first, once based, I was treating it like a wash, because contrast paint is very like a wash, it's exceptionally watery. But Games Workshop tell you to just like slap it on, and they really mean that. You've got to lay it on thick, I think, to get a consistent smooth finish. And I wasn't getting that until I started applying it a little bit thicker. And you have to do it in one layer as well, because I was applying it a bit too thinly to those Primaris Marines, and I thought I'll test doing another layer with the contrast paint on top. I didn't get the metallic shine that some people complained about, but I did get the kind of... There wasn't as much definition. It looked more like my usual painting, actually. Like the blue, you can tell it looks closer to the normal shade I get rather than the contrast paint shade. But yeah, you've got to slap it on to get like a thick consistency, I think. But then the danger there is pulling, where it'll pull too much in places, so you've just got to... You've got to work it out of it so it's not like too overflowing in the recesses anywhere. And you've got to keep in mind as well, when you're spinning a model around, you're going to make the paint go all in all directions, and that's a little bit hard to keep track of. But I do like them. Like, I just finished Killer Croc in a Court of Owls character before the stream. Killer Croc, I really like how it came out. I wish I had a darker green to mix in as well, as in a contrast darker green. They do have normal paints that are darker, because I'd like it a little bit darker looking in some parts, but I think it came out okay. Do I think it would have came out better if I'd just done it in my normal style with normal paints? Probably about the same, again. Oh, sorry, I was getting caught up on chat. I'm not going in the cursor. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, about the contrast paint stuff. The black paint I'm not sure about, like that's the one that I did Batgirl's armor in. And Flashpoint Batman's cape. I think it looks good on Space Marine guns. Don't know about the capes. But I guess the thing is, do you want more definition, like highlights and overall a lighter colour? Or do you want a thicker, less defined colour? Again, this is if you don't know how to actually paint and do it the proper way. Like, if you know how to paint miniatures and you do the whole thinning thing, you're not going to need contrast paints. They're not going to come out looking as good as you doing it the proper way, like, for sure. In general, they look a little bit watered down, but again, that might just be down to me either not applying it thickly enough consistently, or... I've heard most people have been using, like, what's the base the other base called? Like Wraithbone base or whatever. That's the one that produces lighter colours. I think it also produces fuller colours. That's very fair, thank you, Hawkband. Whereas I've been using... So I need to double check the name. I've been using Grey Seer, which produces darker tones because I paint all my armies quite dark. And I have heard some people say that it just contrast paints don't look quite as good if you're using that one. If I do the stupid thing of going ahead and buying this Apocalypse box for the Elden or whatever they're called, Eldar, I'd probably use the other base paint for them to get a brighter, smoother yellow. There's another luck up there. So yeah, over the next few days you're going to see a lot more examples just as I keep on dabbling in contrast paints. The more defined a model is, the better they do. Like the more little bits, nooks and crannies and detail in the plastic resin or whatever they're made of, the better. The bigger, wider... Well, I know, like, there was a video going around just before Contrast Paints released of someone showing off painting the underside of a Rhino, which is a Space Marine transport. Super flat, and they're like, oh, you can see the brush strokes, etc, etc. I think he was making the mistake I was making with my Primaris Marines, which was not applying it thickly enough, because I'm looking at this Carnifex. The Carnifex's back ridges are kind of flat, and yet it looks smooth. Like, I was really laying it on thick on that one, and it looks super smooth. So I think he was just not applying it thick enough, so I am going to test doing something like larger and flatter at some point. See how it goes. Yeah, I know, I got the press release about the PS4 betas. It's the same one that was at E3, so it's Great Jagras, that new RAM thing, and then Tigrex. Don't mind if I do. Never mind, we will not be doing anything with this. I thought Wear Swap was ready. Wait, what? Sorry. Well, that's nice, I guess. Oh, that doesn't destroy the... When did we get 30 bombs? Oh, because Bog-Off bombs. Forgot. Actually, that's Humbling Bundle, right? That is not Bog-Off bombs. That's why we're getting double everything, and I've only just now noticed. I haven't been paying much attention to the run. It's going okay though. Has anyone else been testing out? I don't remember what that does. Testing out contrast paints since they released? Your friend has found someone selling Batman miniature and game stuff locally to us cheap. Is this legal? Is it second hand or is it 3D printed or? I mean, TechX wins us the run. I'm not I mean, we're just firing quickly. It's not like we're firing super duper special. Oh, actually, with Loki's horns, that'll still happen. Eventually. I mean, yeah, it'll still double up for double vision as well. Come on, Loki's horns. I'm waiting to... We've got 2.67 luck, for goodness sake. Whatever. Thank you, FireHockey33, for 12 months with Twitch Prime. Some people might call that a year. Allegedly. Of course, as we all know, time is circular? That's not the word I meant. Circular? Cylindrical. That's what I meant to say. I know it makes no sense, but that is what I meant to say. Come on, I should be firing out 4 circles ever so often. Take that. Imagine donating blood. Actually, that reminds me, thanks to the BBC News article I read today, I wasn't aware there is I wasn't trying to quote anything, I was just trying to make up a word. Or make up a sentence that made no sense. There is a law in England, Scotland and Wales, I don't know if it applies to Ireland, that I didn't know existed and is still enforced, that you are not allowed to, as a male, give blood if you have had homosexual intercourse in the last 3 months. Presumably just to make sure there's no, like, HIV, etc. That's good, right? I don't remember what the possessed eyes do. No, I read it on the BBC News website. The only time I have given blood is to a doctor so it could be tested to make sure I'm still human. Tests were inconclusive, in case anyone is curious. Wait, in the US you're not allowed to do it ever? Jesus. Who wants to be human anyway? Robots? Robots want to be human. We'll be learning more about that once we start Nier Automata this week. Let's all get depressed together. You can join for Risk of Rain, yep. Also, we have no map, and I must scream. Thank you. Not exactly a great help. I was hoping for Dry Baby, but that's alright. I don't want to teleport to the shop because I'll lose where I was. The current policy is a year in the US. Okay, that makes a bit more sense than never. That's just incredibly homophobic. Although honestly, a year is kind of bad as well. Okay, we haven't had any HP since getting the pact on the second floor, so the run is in danger purely based on that fact. Oh no, we got a spirit heart from something else. What dropped a spirit heart? I don't remember. Something did though. You'll be buying some second-hand Batman miniatures. Game this week is your week. I have the prices right. There's Bog Off Bombs, the item I thought I had this entire time. We don't really need pay to play. King Baby is no good to me. I don't want just pills because our pill rotation is bad. Moving Box or Mr. Me6 is both bad. Is that the one that follows you around or is that Space Brian? I want Chaos ideally. Well, guess I'll just be having this stuff then. Is this our last shop? No. Okay, good. So it sounds like it is still enforced in some areas then. I'm stopping to take a drink of water. I'd do it between floor transitions, but who knows when I'll find the damn boss, given that there's no map. Obviously we came this way, but I think that was a dead end back the way. No spirit hearts, huh? Oh, this... I'm gonna play this a lot. Oh, Cancer Trinket is good. We're down to a fire rate of 2. Oh. Give up. No, you gave me what I wanted. Okay, I'll play it down to 40 and then we'll just go, because I don't want to sit here and play it forever. Even though it is beneficial to do so. I played it once extra and you can't stop me. Well, I just realised how irrelevant a fire rate of 2 is if you're using... Well, actually no, I can do that. That's actually kind of neat. So never mind. Tap firing Tech X. That's the way to go. Although we're still not getting Loki's horns to proc, and that's very strange because it should be. Worth the test. A lot of donation areas are heavily run by Christians. Yeah. But why save lives when you can persecute some instead?
It was worth it!
Thank you, Robin the Boy Blunder, for 24 months with Twitch Prime. You know what? That actually is 2 years. Allegedly. Just like the Earth is round, allegedly. Also, I know I'm skipping conversation topics, but let me know what you end up getting, Luke, and what kind of prices you pay for them as well. Oh wait, you wrote that. Hang on. King Shark, Harley Quinn, Joker's Gang, minus the rule book. Well, you can get that for free off the website. They give out the rules for free. Just print it off. And a set of Joker dice for $55, £55 rather. I mean, King Shark alone is like 25, and the bat box for the Joker stuff would be 60. 50 or 60 something, or 70 something, so yeah, you're getting a good deal there. This pleases me because as I am Scottish, everything has to be a good deal or I don't like it. Did I have the item room on this floor, chat? Is that where I got Spider Bite? Or was that the last floor? That was this floor, right? It was, okay. Another boss I can't use Lemon Party on. I will take a tier 2 ball of bandages though. Oh yeah, Ghost Baby was from the skull we blew up in the top right of the room. See, this is why I can never go in that sleep deprivation show, because my memory is this bad without being sleep deprived. And I can't even blame that being an age thing, because there wasn't exactly all young folk on the show either. Wait for your moment. You look like a very rich, aristocratic demon. With Boris Johnson hair. So what I'm basically saying is I look like Boris Johnson. Oh, there was a great tweet from the Scottish First Minister. That's basically our Prime Minister, for anyone who isn't aware. Boris Johnson went on the record as saying he thinks that Scottish people should not be allowed to become Prime Minister of the UK. And she wrote back saying, I'm sure a lot of Scottish people feel the same thing about him. It's just, oh, that Scottish wit. It's beautiful. Hello, Fallon. He is a twat, yes. But he is popular because he used to be on a game show that made fun of him a lot. Called Have I Got News For You. Because apparently that's all you need as qualifications to get given the job of Prime Minister. He hasn't been officially named yet, no, it's still the ongoing process, but he's most likely to. I don't know if this is true, but a journalist went on the record as saying they saw him once posing for a picture where he was offering a £20 note to a busker, and then once the picture had finished being taken, he put the £20 back in his wallet and walked off. Which is both hilarious and sad. Is that? Oh, that does sound like the way he talks. Yes, he talks really weird. That's partially why he was so popular on said game show, because people make fun of him for talking weird. Yeah, not as much I could do about that. No, our prime ministers don't have any real power for the most part. Anything controversial gets put to the people vote, and the British public are not as unintelligent. Although that said, they did vote for Brexit, was pretty dumb. But now they know that was a mistake, and they're not being given a chance to vote against it because now they know it was a mistake. It's a case of we have made our bed in it, and we don't want to lie in it. We would like a chance to vote on a new bed. But they're not allowed. Oh yeah, epilepsy warning, there's going to be a flash every time I go into a room. Because I'm just so horny. Hey, you know, so that's up. Take that. Every room that I haven't been into before. I got a god-awful bit of promotional material, like political based, in the post this morning, claiming that like 90% of Scottish people believe that fishing is the most important asset to the Scottish economy and it will be better under Brexit. I don't think 90% of the public even knows that one of our major exports is fishing. I think most people would say something silly like booze. Because I didn't know that we apparently have a big fishing trade here. No, not boobs. No, the unicorn hair gets out on the black market. It's not supposed to leave the country because then people might want the unicorns and they can't have the unicorns because they're ours. Holy crap, I made it to... Wait. Oh no, I didn't make it to boss rush. Mama Mega opens up boss rush. Nuts to that. I was like, I have not been only 20 minutes. It's nice seeing the door, it felt like old times. The result of fishing can be exported. Use your brain. Ooh. Okay, that's not so bad. It didn't move the chest as much as I thought it would. I've begun the Cold Wars have. Those already happened back when Modern Warfare 2 came out. There were no survivors. Well, the BBC, I didn't read it because it made me roll my eyes a little bit. It was like, person writes headline to get attention, not fully understanding what it's about. It was to do with the new Watch Dogs. It was like, here's what it's going to be like to play around in a post-Brexit Britain. So yeah, everyone's going to have guns on the street corners. There's going to be old ladies with silencers knocking folk out. Yeah, there's going to be like a out-of-control hacker movement infiltrating the UK to steal our tea. Like, I get it. You're saying it this way so that you get attention to the thing you've written, but come on now. Well, incidentally, if it wasn't a Ubisoft game, I would definitely do an old lady playthrough of Watch Dogs 3. I would just have a legion of people who look like Queen Elizabeth II, and they would take back Britain from the regime. Which regime? It doesn't matter. As long as the old ladies rise up, I don't care. Welp. I thought that wouldn't catch him. No, I've just accidentally committed murder. Yes, I'm aware it's post-Brexit, but it's not real. We're not going to become a militant state just because we leave Europe. It's not real. That's what I was meaning. It's set in the future, and Brexit's happening now, so by default, yes, it has to be post-Brexit. And it is set in the UK, and it is militantly controlled by whoever. Do I want more damage, or do I want... Yeah, I want more damage. Because then at least we have Polaroid invincibility as well. Thank you, Not Parrot, for a 33-month streak with your Twitch Prime. The last 3 years has been challenging, but your content and this great group of people have made it easier. Thanks. You're very welcome. That was a thank you to you as well, chat. Except you. You know who I mean. But everyone else is cool. I wasn't meaning... Well, maybe I was meaning Tombury. But he's got a big important job now that means he can't be around as much. Our cannibal numbers are way down. Our horny lizard men numbers are at rock bottom. It's ridiculous. Like, who are going to be horny for the lizard men now? Don't save a Taurus demon. I think he had a broken horn. Should start an Indiegogo campaign to get the Taurus demon a replacement horn. That was a mad lib of thoughts just inside my head there. I don't even know for sure the Taurus demon had a broken horn. Did it have horns? It looked like a Minotaur, right? It probably did. It had horns, not broken? Well, how about when I killed it by making it fall off the cliff? That must have broken a horn. Actually, it killed itself because it jumped at me and fell off, I remember now. Okay. I could better take it 2 HP up in a later floor. Badges are busted. I still see you with a badge. On that note, remind me to keep harassing Corp because he's now got less than a month. Wait, no. Not less than a month. Just over a month to do the next sub-icon. For... Is it 4 years now already, or am I up to 3 years? No, it's 3 years, right? Because Super Saiyan God was 1 year and then Super Saiyan Blue was 2 years? Yeah. Yeah, it's 3 years of getting partnership on 29th of July. Oh god, yeah, you're right, the Final Fantasy 14 expansion's out soon. I'm losing... You say, like, get him on it quick. I told him a year ago. Now granted, he has some has had some problems with insomnia and such since last year. He has also been addicted to a lot of MMOs though, and I have no sympathy for him in that regard. Just looking for tinted rocks as we go, because our HP is still low. 2 weeks? Is he on Final Fantasy 14 right now? Oh, thank you, Delirium. He is, isn't he? I don't even need to check. Another regular lost to MMO addiction. Actually, if they all were lost to that... Oops. My finger was one too far to the right. Although I was going to use it anyway. 9 lives. Anarchist cookbook again. Yeah, he is. Yeah, that's what they call a safe bet. Another option be SS Blue Kaioken. Nah, it's not as known as Ultra Instinct. Oh, I guess I could just edit the blue one myself and add some red to it if need be. No, I'm not making one Shaggy Blanco. Maybe if they add him to Mortal Kombat. That's my stipulation. Get Ed Boon on it. Hello, Loki's. No secret room. Just want to make sure. Isaac. Die to my flow of Tech X. That wasn't even Isaac that hit me, it was one of the little bastards. Come on, don't do another run. Excellent. What will the icon be if I hit 4 years? I think it's very unlikely I'll get to 4 years, so it's not going to matter. But I guess I could just make it like Super Saiyan Mafia Frog. Wow. No HP, but damn good items. Gonna kill myself with butt bombs, almost certainly. Although if I'm tap firing, does that mean butt bombs won't proc? Oh my god, Jacob's Ladder as well. Ridiculously powerful, just very glass cannon. Monster's Tooth. Super Saiyan 4, because why not? I guess so, Super Saiyan 4 was a thing that it kind of existed. It did get retconned though. What is this run? Very, very good at the final bit only. Prior to that, it was just pretty good. Although I guess it was a lot easier once we got Tech X. Although we had a good tier rate ever since getting the cancer trinket. Well, no, even before that we did. So even if we didn't get Tech X, it still would have been a pretty good run, although I think it would have been much more in question. Ooh, that was very close. Really just need... wrong way. Blue Baby quickly before I end up just making a mistake and getting hit. GT is retconned, yes. Dragon Ball Super is set after Dragon Ball Z and utterly ignores anything to do with GT. Which is good because GT was awful. Something's wrong, telepills. Sure. It was just here. Oh, the Batman Turtles movie is out? I'll pick it up sometime. Yeah, it's an alternative timeline that is retconned out of existence because nobody likes it. It's very bad. And should be ignored and punished for existing. Anyway, that was a good run. Kinda. For those watching after the fact on YouTube, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you again to Lord Psychon as well for their support on Patreon. It really helps. We might make it to those 4 years. Probably won't, but might. It's that for now.